This place I'm visiting now, over the hill there's a beautiful lagoon that I used to go prawning. I don't know if you've ever been prawning before. My ex-fiance used to take me prawning and adventure, four-wheel driving, fishing. I've done all sorts of crazy things out in the outback and the bush. So here there's a beautiful lagoon. I've showed you a video of it before. And we used to go in the dark on the dark moon. The prawns would be coming out. They'd been full grown in the sand when the lagoon was closed to the sea. And on the dark moon you could go and catch them. You had to take a light under the water, put the light in the sand, and the prawn would jump into your net and then you'd catch it. It's a very slow way to get dinner, one prawn at a time. But it was fun, pitch black, kind of scary, up to knee deep in water, waist deep in water, with a light catching prawns. On the headland up here, I remember sitting watching the lightning strike at dusk across the ocean. And today I'm watching whales breaching, coming down the coast on their annual migration down the East Australian coast. Like in Nemo, those turtles were riding a 4-knot current, and the ocean racers use it as well. They test the temperature of the sea to find where the 4 knots is running directly south, and they jump in the East Australian current and get a fast track down to the Southern Ocean. That's what the whales do too. They're very clever. Yesterday they were breaching, big whales leaping out of the water and their tails up in the air. It's kind of fun. I can't see them today. The water's very still and calm, but I don't see any spouts. The southern right whales and the humpbacks. They used to hunt them down here at Eden, not so far south. There's a whaling station, old whaling station. They used to send the pilot whales, killer whales, out as a guide to bring these big whale catch in so they could take the oil and the amber, I think they call it, to use for perfumes. Whale vomit, very greasy, and it's a very strong smell that they use to hold perfume to the skin. So while I was down here, one of the things I discovered was the God complex. People who work in the medical industry are sometimes given so much power, and without a sense of their humility and oath of office, the Hippocratic Oath, if they lose that sense of humility of their limitations and their ethical boundaries, they can take on a role of God in the power that they've been given over life and death, the drugs that they administer to people by error or intention. These people have the power to maim, grievously bodily harm you, kill you, or advise you toward a pathway that serves their interests, serves their financial interest and their risk interest, to minimize the risk for them, an expedient pathway for you to be treated, which is also profitable. So that's what RFK is coming up against now, this God complex, this pharmaceutical industry who have no fear of God at all and who've got the power over life and death and science without any legal indemnity attributed to them. So that the relationship is a sticky contract enforced by the government, where the pharmaceutical and medical industry, doctors who are advising you and giving you medical advice, are not working for best science or for your personal health preferences and values. They're working for a financial interest for themselves, risk mitigation, limited risk mitigation for them, so that they're not exposed to court proceedings, time, expedience, convenience. And that's how they advise you in their medical practice, because it's profitable for them and it causes them less stress. So I learned that down here in this place, the God complex, and how medical practitioners can become abusive, violating your consent and your bodily autonomy, and violating your values, your God-given identity, sovereignty as an individual. And it's really important to learn that these people are not God. They've been given a high status in our society, and they can be treated like witch doctors, pointing the bone at you and giving you directions that are not medically sound and are serving their interests rather than yours and your values and the God that you serve. So you've got to keep an eye out for that when you're navigating through the medical system, and understanding the advice that they give to you is laden with a value hierarchy construct that comes from them and the authority that they've been given in their system to administer medicines for your ill and their gain, or for your well-being, and their ethical responsibility towards you to advise you as an individual who has the power to give consent or to deny and reject certain treatments. So this is the word that I have for you. It's House of Horrors, from the Butcher of Bega and my ex-husband, who had a God complex. The best and the worst of all things is coming up for you. Can I handle it? The stories these people need to speak about, what they have all seen and heard, and the way they are being treated in the schools and churches, and the gangster-style apocalypse is only part of what you can see on the surface openly. There are many things going on beneath the view of polite civil society, and it's not good, my queen. They're killing babies full term and managing the life of the elderly like a science experiment, injecting them with poisonous vaccines that don't work. And next, it will be euthanasia. It's kill or be killed. That is the question. The God complex. My ex-husband. He thought he knew more than all the rest. Arrogant cartel of doctors and surgeons and nurses too, the medical industry, are getting away with murder.